You want to fight him again?
Yeah, for sure. We gotta make that bag.
That bad.
IV signed my first contract for an immediate rematch. It will happen if there's a draw or if I win. The rematch is already agreed, so now it's up to him.
Together. So I knew Lamont was serious. He was coming in there to fight. But he did a lot better than I thought he would, and I thought he won the fight personally.
Davis has finally spoken out about signing the contract for a rematch with Lamont Roach. Tank has also taken some responsibility for his performance, admitting that he wasn't fully focused during the fight. He recognized that he could have done things differently and promised to prove himself in the upcoming rematch, which is set to happen soon. This self-reflection shows that Davis is aware of his mistakes and is motivated to fix them. With the fight now confirmed, he has the chance to redeem himself and silence his critics. Both fighters are preparing to settle the controversy, making this rematch one of the most anticipated in recent.
I could have stopped him. It's me. It's me. Definitely my fault. Definitely my fault. It's all right. You know what I mean? You live and you learn. I definitely could have. That was on me, too. That was on me for sure. Because I ain't pick it up when I supposed to pick it up. And I could have definitely did more.
Devin Haney, a respected figure in boxing, shared his thoughts on Lamont Roach's performance. He mentioned that he has known Roach since childhood and praised him for his efforts in the fight. Haney personally believed Roach had done enough to win, which adds credibility to Roach's claims of victory and sparks more debate about the fights.
Your thoughts on the Gervonta Tank Davis situation? What was your assessment on his fight against Lamont Roach, and what are your thoughts on the knockdown that wasn't called in round 9?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good fight overall. Lamont, I always knew Lamont was, he wasn't coming to lay down. I've been knowing Lamont since we was kids, so we came up in amateurs together. So I knew Lamont was serious. He was coming in there to fight, but he did a lot better than I thought he would, and I thought he won the fight personally. Yeah, the no knockdown, that was like unheard of. It was the first time I've ever seen it with my own two eyes, and yeah.
Yeah, you were, you've made some comments. I wanted to see the backflip, and I'm surprised Tank didn't say nothing back to you about that.
Hey, I was just speaking my opinion on it.
Speculation about a rematch between GervontaDavis and Lamont Roach has been increasing, with reports suggesting the fight could happen around June this year. Given the controversy from their first fight, Davis now faces pressure to prove himself and silence critics who believe Roach deserved the win.
Davis could be back in the ring around June to rematch Lamont Roach. Hopefully there's some truth to that, because Tank needs to redeem himself immediately.
The rematch is expected to happen because both Davis and Roach have something to prove. Their first fight ended in controversy, leaving fans divided over the result. A second fight would give both boxers the chance to settle the debate once and for all.
And again, because both fighters have something to prove. I just saw a tweet from Gervonta Davis saying that he was going to activate the rematch. Is it going to happen? I don't know. Would I like to see this fight happen? Yes, I would like to see a fight happen again, because I think that the next fight is going to be a whole lot better. And I think the next fight is going to end with somebody being on the canvas, in my opinion. But I think that Lamont Roach, I want to give a shout out to Lamont Roach for putting up such a amazing performance. We never seen anyone stand there toe-to-toe with Gervonta Davis. We never seen anyone there throwing punches, power punches, at Tank Davis and not being knocked out. And I also want to
Julian Gonzalez, another fighter, believes Lamont Roach will win if a rematch takes place. He stated that both fighters would come prepared, working on the mistakes they made in the first fight to ensure a better performance. Gonzalez's confidence in Roach suggests that the challenger has a real chance at victory.
Rematch. Who wins the rematch?
Yeah.
They're both gonna come ready again. See, the first one was a tough one too. I had Lamont pulling off, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, smudge. Like I wasn't mad at the draw. I'm gonna rock with Lamont though.
Think Lamont takes it?
It's hard.
Close, yo.
Because Lamont surprised me a lot, So Yeah, I'm gonna see Lamont.
One of Lamont Roach's sparring partners expressed frustration over the fight's outcome, claiming that Roach actually won, but was robbed due to the influence Davis holds in the boxing world. He suggested that the judges may have been swayed.
And Lamont.
All right, so you sparred Lamont Roach in preparation for his bout with Gervonta Davis. First, what did you think of the fight?
What did I think of the fight? It's a little different for me because it's definitely a point of bias there.
Wait, let me put out a disclaimer. He's from Baltimore.
Definitely, I mean, East Baltimore all day. But I'm looking at it from a point of bias because his dad, you know, Ben Johnson Sr. and all them guys that was down there, the coaches Tim and everything like that, they all good people. So I got to know them on a more personal level. And then I get to see like how hard a world champion works. And not only that, to see how he treated his people. So I was going for him just off of personality alone, but everything else, he made me believe in Camp for real. Because me and him like have similar personalities. Know what I mean, as far as the ring, you know what I mean? So everything we was ready for, like the talking shit and everything like that, because that was coming from me, you know what I'm saying? Me and Lamont, so everything was just everything for real. I think he should have won too, you know what I'm saying? But actually when I was there, I thought they actually was gonna like rob him, you know what I mean? But you can't, you know what I mean? You can't deceive the people that's there for what they saying for real.
So you felt like he should have got the nod in the decision.
Especially with all the other controversy too. It should have been overturned, but we know how boxing works, but nah, I mean.
GervontaDavis's trainer acknowledged Roach's skills and explained that their strategy for the fight had been well planned. He suggested that if a rematch were to happen, they wouldn't make drastic changes, but would only need minor adjustments to secure a clearer victory for Davis.
By Roach and Tank. What do you think the biggest surprise was in the fight?
It wasn't a surprise because we know Roach. It wasn't a surprise. Roach can fight. A lot of people think because a person is not popular, that they don't exist. There's fighters out there that can rumble. They just got to get the opportunity, you know?
Speaking of rematches, Jalil Hackett is getting his opportunity again to fight the guy that he had a controversial loss to. It'll be happening in Florida, I think, next week?
March 15th, I think.
Let's talk about it.
I'm rocking a major shirt now.
Alvarez weighed in on the controversy surrounding Davis taking a knee during the fight. He stated that if a fighter willingly takes a knee, they can be disqualified under certain conditions. His comments add another layer to the debate over whether the referee handled the situation correctly.
GervontaDavis take a knee, and should he have been deducted a point, and in the end lost that fight to Roach, in your opinion?
Yeah, in my opinion, if it was a draw, he take a knee. And plus the corner go up and put a towel in the face, that's a disqualification for sure. I'm talking about the rules, but it's not my...
Fans have ridiculed GervontaDavis for his excuse that his hair was too greasy, which led to him taking a knee in the fight. Critics believe this was a weak explanation and argue that a true champion wouldn't rely on such justifications. This controversy has only increased the demand for a rematch.
Night Tank, that is it. Lamont, please say that in the second fight. Any questions? You got any grease in your hair tonight, Tank? Like, you got any grease in your hair tonight, Tank? Like, hey, bro, be on that. Because here's the thing. He never hurt Roach. Roach just waited. And Roach was squared up and turned sideways. And I'm like, oh, my God. I didn't think he had that. He was like... I'm like, oh my, and then he just sitting there like, you can't, I know what you're gonna do because I've trained with you since we were kids. Tarver beat Roy, but he knew Roy since amateurs. Roy said he never liked fighting sparring partners because they know you so well. I should have listened.
Renowned commentator Joe Rogan has insisted that a rematch between Davis and Roach must happen. He argued that Davis cannot walk away from the controversy, as boxing fans deserve to see the fight settled in a fair and decisive manner.
You can't get around what everybody saw. Look, it wasn't a legit knockdown like he hurt Tank. Tank did have some shit in his eyes, but what are you doing putting shit in your hair when you have a world title fight? That's crazy.
And no one want to hear about it in the middle of a fight. That no one cares. If a fly by, drop the ball, bro.
Right.
drop the damn ball. We don't care if a fly flew by your helmet or your eyes.
Yeah, nobody gives a fuck about that.
You can't be a championship fighter and taking a knee and putting on those type of performances.
Also, what are they putting in his hair? That when he's sweating, it is dripping into his eyes. Like, what is that shit?
Yeah.
Bro, shave your head.
Weird, right? Yeah, exactly.
Shave your fucking head. Who cares?
Like, don't be pretty boy.
Joe Rogan also weighed in on the pivotal moment when Davis took a knee in the 9th round. He stated that if a fighter voluntarily goes down on one knee, it should be considered a knockdown. His analysis suggests that the referee may have made an error in judgment that influenced the fight's outcome.
That was trash.
Well, I thought it was a good fight. You didn't think
great fight, but I just champion guy taking a knee, talking about greasing his hair.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I'm like, yo, how you just in the middle of the fight just go wipe your face?
Also, here's the deal: if you take a knee, that's a knockdown.
That's a knockdown. Subtract 2, right?
You got hit with a jab.
Yeah.
You took a knee,
and then you walked off.
Exactly. That is a knockdown.
Yeah.
So I think they're reviewing that right now.
Nah, that guy should have lost, maybe.
Well, I feel like if they do review it and they do judge it as a knockdown, which it was clearly a knockdown to everybody, you take a knee, that's a knockdown. I think they will probably give it to Lamont.
This is a very interesting rule. They have a power slap that kind of talks about what you guys were just.
Davis has faced long-standing accusations of cherry-picking his opponents to maintain an undefeated record. Critics argue that he avoids the toughest challengers and instead chooses fights that are favorable to him. The controversy surrounding the Roach fight only fuels this perception.
And Lamont Roach shows y'all how protected Tank has been for the past several years. And the people saying, oh, Tank know Lamont and he been respected Lamont because they fought in the amateurs. Man, he was cherry-picking Lamont. You know, and really thought he was going to get that win. But Lamont wasn't coming to play around. You know, he stood his ground and fought back. And to be honest, he won the fight. The rematch is going to be a knockout.
Several boxing analysts and former professionals have expressed the opinion that if a rematch were to happen, Roach would have a strong chance of winning. They argue that Roach exposed key weaknesses in Davis's game plan, which he could exploit even further in a second fight.
GervontaDavis versus Lamont Roach is staying as a draw, which is bullshit because GervontaDavis obviously took a knee and it should have been counted as a knockdown, but it wasn't. But this just means that Lamont Roach is going to take GervontaDavis in the rematch unless GervontaDavis ducks the rematch with Lamont Roach because he knows he's going to get his ass whooped once again.
If I get touched, I'm coming on that ass.
But Coach Bernie has emphasized that Lamont Roach needs to be more aggressive in a potential rematch. While Roach performed well, Bernie believes there were moments when he could have been more dominant. With increased focus and a more assertive approach.
You know, but he did good, Lamont Roach. But only thing, like I say, if he gonna go back and wish he threw his hands more, he might start getting mad at himself and realize that he when he watches the fight. It feels good to hear everybody say that, but when you go watch the fight and you realize, I let him slide too much. Like even the last round, he's standing there posing, looking at the man like and then he got caught with a jab. That wasn't good.
Initial fight between Davis and Roach was met with strong reactions from fans. Many attendees booed Davis, showing their dissatisfaction with his performance. This backlash puts additional pressure on Davis to accept a rematch and prove that he truly deserved to win.
Shows that it wasn't an outside strange occurrence, that it may just be a part of his DNA. For him to get hit in amateurs and then take a step back and take a knee when he obviously wasn't hurt, it just shows to me that instead of gritting it out, all right, and possibly get knocked out or taking those chances, he'd rather take a knee to disrupt the momentum and then start over. That's how I'm taking it. It can be a great strategy or it can be the bully complex. That when you meet somebody and they're not fearing you or they're not retreating or backing away from you and they're showing poise and the ability to withstand your output and give some back, like any bully, they kind of unravel.
A major point of controversy was the referee's decision not to count Davis's knee in the 9th round as a knockdown. Many believe this decision had a significant impact on the scoring and the final result. This dispute has only intensified the demand for a rematch.
It's that Lamont Roach versus Gervonta Tank Davis fight. And look, you fooled me once, okay? I'm going to let y'all get that. Y'all got that. But come on, man. This was a money fight, clearly, and also clearly Tank lost. I mean, there's no mistaken identity that Roach landed more punches, Tank had a higher percentage, but when we look at the punches and the punching power, it was Lamont Roach 8 rounds to 4. And then if you take in consideration that Tank took that knee, which count as a knockdown, the ref even started counting. I mean, there's nothing even to debate here. If they were tied without them even counting that, if you supposed to have counted that part, he would have actually lost the fight. It's a win for Lamont Roach. Get your bag.
With all the controversy surrounding the fight, interest in a rematch has skyrocketed. Many boxing fans now consider it one of the most anticipated events in the sport, as they want to see the two fighters settle the score in a clear and decisive manner.
Gervonta Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach bout? Talk about controversy. The judges called it a draw. But let's be real. A lot of people think Roach got robbed. Both fighters brought their A-game, showing off some serious skills in the ring. Roach was on fire, landing clean shots and outworking Tank in several rounds. But Tank had his moments too, showcasing that explosive power we all know. But Tank going on one knee or being wobbled didn't swing it toward Roach. I don't know about that, but either way, now everyone's buzzing about an upcoming rematch. I mean, who wouldn't want to see these two go at it again? What's your take? Did Roach deserve the W, or was the draw fair? Drop your thoughts below and let's break down the...
Boxing analyst Luke Thomas speculated that GervontaDavis might be considering retirement after completing the remaining 3 fights in his contract. If this is true, it could mean that Davis may avoid a rematch with Roach, leaving fans disappointed.
He doesn't do it. Now we're left wondering, are we going to get a rematch with this? Which I wouldn't hate, but I don't know if there's like a big demand for it. Tank has said prior to this night that like all of this is, you know, he's got 3 fights left. This would have been one of them. So that would have been at least 2 more essentially this year if he can squeeze them in, he said. It was supposed to be against Tank and Shakur Stevenson. Where are we with that now? What does this do to that? I genuinely don't know how to answer that question. I really don't. I don't know what PBC is going to... Dude, PBC has had a bit of a rough run of it. I want to be very clear. I'm not trying to pile on their difficulties, but like they lost Canelo or whatever the fuck Canelo's doing. Then they still have Gervonta. He's still a big star. I'm sure this sold well. And again, it sold well at the gate. So that's still great. But they're hoping to like build off of this. They didn't get it. They were trying to get something going with Tim Tszyu. That bottomed out last year.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.